Howdy, y'all. Well, I made this big, great video, and my husband was watching television and had all the the audio of that in it, and I thought I knew how to remove the audio and do a voiceover. But apparently I don't, so I've got all these blocks already made, so I'm just going to give you a short video on blocks A, B, and C, and tell you how many you need and which parts you need, pieces you need to make them. So we're going to start with block A. Okay, and for block A, you need one of piece 1 and one of piece 2. And if you look up here, you'll see which ones those are. And you can take a screenshot of that if you want. And you need 2 of these blocks. That's all you need. Okay, block B1, you need piece 3, you need 2 of them for each block. One goes vertical and one goes horizontal. And you need 2 of these blocks. Block B2 is just like B1 except for this piece is longer. So you need 1 of piece 4 and 1 of piece 3 to make this block. And you need 2 of these blocks. Okay, block C, this is one of our main blocks. We have 2 main blocks in this quilt. This is one of them. And you need I can't see. You'll need one of the block 6, one of the block 5, and 2 of the block 1s for each of these blocks. And you're going to need 28 of these blocks. Now, block C1 and C2 are adjustment blocks, so they're exactly like block C, except for okay, this is block C and this is block C1. So you've got this part is missing from C1. So to make C1, you need 1 of this block, which I believe it says 6. I can't see it from here. And you need one of the red and yellows. I don't have red and yellow on here. I've got red and white, but not red and yellow. Somehow or another I made it. Anyway, you need the block 1, the block 6. You need one of the 4.5-inch whites, which is this one, whatever that number is. I'm sorry, I cannot read what this says, but you probably can. So whatever block that is, that's the one you need. And then you need half of one of these. And this is block C1. You need 2 of them. When I edit the video, I'll put the piece numbers in here for you. I just can't see it from here. And C2 looks like this. You have one of the whatever block that is, and I will put that in there for you. You need one of this block. You need one of this block. And one of this block. And you need 2 of those. And block C that I showed you, that one of the main blocks, I messed up on it and got some of my blocks turned around, so I remade that video and I'm going to go ahead and include it in here for you. So you'll see that here at the end. So we'll see you in a bit. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to my mess. I was filming episode 3 of Steps to Freedom last night, and my husband was watching TV, so part of this is going to be voiceover. And then I also made a huge mistake on the main block of the whole quilt. As soon as I find the right one to show you. It's supposed to look like this with, okay, red, I can't get everything straight in the camera. The blue and yellow at the top, red and yellow at the bottom, and then the red and white how you see it. Well, I ended up making 28 that looked like this. So I have to rip out all of them and do it all over again. Now, in this video, I'm just showing you how to make blocks A, which you need 2 of those, B1, which you need 2 of, B3, okay. Okay. A, which you need 2 of, B1, which you need 2 of, B2, which you need 2 of, and I think I might have to redo this one. I've got to check it. This looks way too long. I think I should have used the shorter blue and white one, but I'll have to check and I'll let you know when I get there. And then C1, which is supposed to look like this. And then C2, which is supposed to look like this. And that's all I was going to do in today's video. I've already got all the others made, but I'm going to divide it up into segments because for those that are following along with me, most of the blocks you only need 1 or 2 of, but block C, which is this one, you need 28 of. And so I wanted to give you a chance to get all these done before we move on to the next set. The next set will have a block that we need, I believe it's 30 of, and then after that we've only got ones with 1 or 2 blocks. So I'm going to start ripping out these, and then I'll be back in a little bit with my headset on. I found out that I can, instead of putting it on my head like this because it broke and it won't stay on, I can put it around my neck like this, and my hearing aids pick up the sound as I took the little ear pad thingies off. And so you'll see me with these around my neck because what I'm doing is I've got set up my watch list and I'm watching everybody's videos and lives that I've missed while I sew. So anyway, I'm going to get my apron on, my seam ripper, and I'm going to start ripping, and then I will refilm the making of this block the right way, and then we'll get it edited and out to you. So see you in a little bit. Bye bye. Okay, I'm back. So if you're following along with me, you should have all of your pieces and parts finished, and this is the chart that I showed you in the last episode while we were making these, and it's not too late to join if you haven't started. Go back and watch episode 2 and take a screenshot of this. You can do it now while I'm talking, or in episode 2. But these are the parts that we need to make the blocks, and inside of each piece is a number, and that is the number that I've assigned to each piece. And then alongside you've got how many you need and what they measure. And again, this is what our quilt is going to be modeled after. It's called Steps to Freedom, and it looks like stair steps. That's why I named it that. And I finished getting all my wrong parts, or not the wrong parts, but what I sewed together wrong, taken apart. And so I'm going to show you how to make block C. That's the one I messed up on in the video I was filming last night. So I'm going to take you down to the table and we're going to put together this block. It's pretty easy. You're using I'll tell you in a minute. I gotta look at my chart. So anyway, we're going to take you down to the table and get started. Okay, to make block C, you're going to need piece 1 in 2 different places. So you've got your up and down and your sideways. Then you need piece 5 and piece 2. And always remember that your color that you're using for yellow, whatever your color is, they always go like this, so you don't want it turned like that. That's what's going to make these, I don't know if you can see that or not. So I'm going to put one together for you, or maybe I'll put a few together so I can show you how that I'm going to chain. So I'm going to switch you over to the sewing machine and we'll get started on that. Okay, let me remove my little sticky pad. I'm not going to do all of these that I need, but I just want to show you an example of how I chain stitch or chain piece. I usually go like turning the pages of a book, from left over to right. Put my pieces together. Go to the machine. I finished my leader ender project, so let me grab some scraps. Now if I were doing one at a time, which I'm going to do the first one at a time to show you, I've got the top half done. Now I'm going to do the bottom half. And when I pressed them, I pressed everything to the dark. And for this block, I need, if I'm going to nest it, I need to flip one of them. I'm going to choose to flip, nope, I can't. It's got to be the white. I'm going to flip these so that they will nest, and I'll just do that as I sew. So let me make sure I'm going the right direction. Grab my stiletto. When I press those, I will make sure that I've got that seam that I just moved pressed to the right direction. Okay, so we've got this, so now I bring the top down to the bottom. And I will nest these seams, and I will go toward the darker of the two fabrics. And I'll also have to move this one again. I prefer pressing my seams open, but not everybody does, so I'm trying to sew like other people do for the purpose of the patterns. When I'm just sewing for myself, I most likely will press open. And if there's a lot of bulk involved, I will always press open. Okay, and you can see how nicely the seams have matched up. I'm going to take it over to the ironing board and press it real nice, and Okay, this is what we look like. On this, we just remember the red's touching the red, both directions, and that the yellow goes diagonally, and this is block C. Okay. I'm sure that most of you know how to chain piece, but on the chance that we have some new people here, I'm going to show you 6 blocks out of the remaining 20, how many ever. So anyway, like I showed you with the single block, you're going to take your right piece, fold it on top of your left piece, and bring it to the machine. And find your foot pedal. Okay. And this time, instead of doing just one at a time, we're going to do everything in our stack. If I was off camera, I'd be doing all of the all 28 at the same time. Not only does this save thread, both top and bottom, but it also saves time because you're using muscle memory. I use my leaders and enders to continue to
jobs that exceed expectations, clients who value their worth, contracts that surpass goals, investments that yield returns, and ideas that generate.
I heard something, I don't know what it was. Okay, that was my husband. He wanted to show me something on YouTube. So anyway, we've got these chained together. That's why it's called chain. All of these threads, there's just a little short thread instead of long one when you have to cut. Then I've got my little, mine is called an A cut. A lot of people have the blade savers. I got this back when Tiffany had hers that looked like this, and so this is what I use. And it basically has a razor blade in it, which you can change the razor blades when you need to. the blade saver is a good idea though, because you're using your used rotary blades. But anyway, you just do this to cut your chain, and I'm going to take this over and iron it, and I will be right back with you. Okay, I'm finished pressing, and I'm going to bring these and put them right back where they were in the right orientation. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these blocks. Now some of these blocks are upside downs, which if I turned them, oh, that puts it right side up. Okay, so I'm going to make sure everything's right side up. If I turn this to be right side up, the yellow would be in the wrong place, so I'm going to just use it the way it is. Same with this one, and this one's okay. So here we go. Okay, I'll go press these and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So We have all of our pieces, the top and the bottom, sewn together and pressed. And now we're going to bring the top down to the bottom and sew those pieces together. And I was mindful of which direction I pressed my seams so that they would nest when I sew this part together. On mine I pressed toward the white because that's what worked the best. Normally you don't want to do that, but sometimes you have to. Okay, we have a problem. This block is turned around. It should be the red. So I'm going to pull this one out and I will fix it here in a little bit. Like I said before, on this block, this red and this red should match, and the yellows should go horizontally. I'm double checking as I go. I don't like using a seam ripper. this goes with the one I have to fix. Okay, I'm going to press these and fix this and sew it together, and I'll be back in a little bit. For me, just a blink of the eye for you. Okay, these are done. I ended up having to fix two. You may have noticed when I was sewing them together that one of the first ones was backwards. So I fixed that, and then I pressed all these. So I now have 6, 7, I have 7 done. And I thought I had one more, but anyway, I for sure have 7 done. That means I have 21 left to go of this block. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I wanted to talk to you about one little thing real quick. Has nothing to do with these blocks, but I thought I'd share it with you. Okay. You know what this is? It's just a piece of wood. I'll get with you in a minute. Hold on. Somebody's pinging me. This is my clapper. I have several clappers of different sizes. They're just a plain old piece of wood. I cannot see any sense in spending all that money on a piece of wood that has somebody else's name stamped on it. This is left over from a project. It even has a screw hole in it. I think it was when I was working on my rabbit cages. Okay, the second thing is these boards that I use. This is the cardboard that came in a layer cake. It's a 10-inch square. I use these for my smaller blocks. I have 2 of them. I think I showed this one to you already in a previous video. This is the lid to a pizza box. And this big one over here was a political signboard that was left out in my yard after an election. I don't remember which one, but it was left there, and so I took it and I covered it with flannel, and so I have at this point these 3 that are portable, plus I have a big one over there, which is a big piece of cardboard that's covered with flannel, and it's on an easel. So there is no reason that you have to spend a ton of money on all these gadgets that all these companies try to sell. I mean, they're nice to have, and if you have the money to if you have the money to spend on that kind of stuff, that's nice. And maybe one of these days I'll have that kind of money, but for right now, I have to do what I have to do. So I have my homemade wooden clappers. I have my homemade, I don't know what you call these things. I call them flannel boards, but they're, you know what they are for. Um, and I make a lot of my stuff that I use, that I see people using. I just make it myself. So I just wanted to encourage you to look around. These are things that you have around your house. You have layer cakes, and most of them come with cardboard in them. I'll wager that most of you eat pizza. This is a great lid, and it even says, do your slice, recycle. So I did. And this is an election year, so you probably can come across some of these signboards. I'm going to try to find 4 or 5 more because I have many projects in the works at the same time, and I stack my stuff in between what I'm working on. So after the election, I'll probably go to the where we vote, which is the library, and ask if I can have some of them. So anyway, this is the last, no, this isn't the last block, but this is the last part of this video because I think the rest of it that I filmed from last night should be okay. I won't know till I edit, and then if I have to refilm some more, I will. So anyway, I'll say it, and I'll probably say it several times. But be blessed, less stressed, and pet some fabric today. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.